I tried seeing the video yesterday, pero talk
Last
about it
night's
later.
show. Did you
Yeah,
watch it?
part beats and pieces up and I didn't get to the good part. Apparently,
Well,
I
what
saw
the hell
half of
did
it.
you watch? Like, the
I watched.
starting.
I saw half of it up until halfway.
Yeah, I got it. Got a little bit on the heated side, and
I'm gonna have to go back because according to the comments and messages, it was juicy.
one of and I want to say this because I think we've been having conversations throughout the day, and I think we're all very very pissed. And I actually got a message from Susan, who I sent the link to. Said Susan said, "Goes, Erasmo, your face state this morning is just showed it all. You were just so disgusted." And I said, "Well, yeah, you're disgusted because one of the things that I hope people understand, we don't wake up in the morning wanting to be pissed off at the city of Brownsville. We don't wake up
And
trying
you know
to.
what, man? And we've said this before to where like, dude, we want to be like a Craig Grove and talk great things about Brownsville, but when you're all
They're
you
actually
see when you see the true pictures of Brownsville and what's going on is like, damn, like
one of the things that Maggie said last night, and Maggie has said, and you know this, Sam, because we've talked about this after the show in the past when we've had discussions in regards to Commissioner de Los Santos, is like, and Maggie was a lot more trusting, and Maggie would go out there and say, I want to give this guy the benefit of the doubt and everything. And and one of the things that I wanted to make clear to folks, I don't trust anyone. I don't trust anyone, but I want them to talk. I want them to open up. I want them to say stuff, even if what is being said is a bunch of bull crap. And Sam, we've had Commissioner Santos on before, and there's some things that he stated, and he gave us like the explanation in regards to his chief of staff, and I told him right here, I said I don't buy it, you know. And last night, let me tell you, I did not buy 90% of what was said last night. You know, just it's just unfathomable because at the end of the day, and we were talking about this right now while we were coming in. There's so many opportunities that are being lost here in the community because I don't know, Susan, you weren't on, but Sam was making mention. Can you imagine, Susan, if all those millions upon millions and millions of dollars, and I'm not just talking about Tenasca, because again, take into consideration, we've made mention of this before. This is one project. What about this lit project? 20 million that the mayor, got somebody else. That's another project. What about the other projects that the PUB had? The other projects that have been going on for the past so many years. The Bridge to Nowhere, uh, the Performing Arts Center at BISD, the Titan Tires. If all the Elon Musk money downtown, if all that money had actually been used to improve this community, had been invested into the people, which is what you hope all these funds are for, we would be at a metropolis, one of the greatest cities in the whole state of Texas.
Mhm.
But we're not. We're labeled as the poorest community in the country, the stupidest community in the country, the fourth least educated. And it's all because these people steal other resources that should go to the people of Brownsville, Cameron County.
We have a
I don't know about the
university. How
Huh?
can we be labeled the stupidest, right?
But then you see all the stuff that the politicos do and all the people out there applauding them, and
like
then
on
the
that.
vote.
Just going back on
Going,
the whole education thing, and I do understand. Like I guess the least educated is because people don't understand that they don't take it into account that a lot of people in Bronzeville they're like entrepreneurs and self-employed, and they don't take that into account as I guess
Mhm.
that being their hustle compared to cities like Boston, DC, New York. They all need degrees for whatever they study. Be it doctors, lawyers, you need actual degrees for that. Engineers, but to actually hustle and run a business, you don't need a degree.
Yep.
So that's why many people here in Bronzeville, they're like, you know what? Instead of going towards that, I'll just start a business and make my living off of that. It's not that they're the stupidest or the least educated. They might be like the most hustle people around, to be honest.
Hmm. Yeah, education always isn't a college degree.
Hmm. Well, I think one of the things that's very indicative to me, look, and I've said this openly, I hate the sheep mentality, you know? And the sheep mentality is, they follow wherever, the shepherd, the leaders lead you. And, and anytime the sheep start to question the leaders, then you're the black sheep, like Carlo, like the black sheep. You're the black sheep of the group, you know? As the and that's what happens when a lot of individuals start asking questions like, well, I don't. You're just being negative. We've gotten that when Susan submits her her open PIRs, and when calling out in regards to the city finances. Oh, well, yeah, just be negative, and want to paint us all in that brush. We have a right to ask questions,
Right.
and they have an obligation to give us answers. Because at the end of the day, this is our city, and they make the people of Brownsville think and feel that it's not.
Hmm.
These are our
Well,
funds.
they do give answers. The answer is, well, I don't know about that. That's PUB. Well, I don't know about that. That's PUB.
That's a charter. We can't mess with that.
But Carlo, that's exact. And Sam, you know this. That's exactly what they've all done. Think about this. When Trey Mendes, when we busted Trey Mendes in regards to the finances and to BCIC and to all the money that they were taking, he would go like, "Oh well, no, no, it's somebody else's fault. It's not us." When the crap with uh, the grid going down and there was no services out there, they were quick to say, no, no, Greg Abbott, focus on Abbott, focus on Abbott. No, no, what did you do for the people of Brownsville? We have a FEMA dome, and let me say this is I think this is before, I don't know if y'all knew this. We were supposed to get four FEMA domes. These domes that were going to be 75% funded by FEMA. Four, we got one, and barely got one, and it's because of the
And
same
they didn't
reason.
even start the generator.
No, exactamente. Well, it's because of the same reason. They squandered all the money that they were supposed to put in it, so we only got one FEMA dome, and then it's nothing compared to the Los Fresnos FEMA dome.
Hmm.
Have y'all been to the Los Fresnos FEMA dome?
Yeah. It's
Man,
amazing.
it's amazing. They made it out into this amazing gym. It's beautiful because they had vision. They saw the potential it could have. Not only being a place where individuals could go to in case of an emergency, but also they could use it as a resource center, as a basketball, a sports, a volleyball for their schools, for one of their schools. Especially, our FEMA dome does not look anything like Los Fresnos,
Mm-mm.
and it doesn't even have generators in case of emergency.
And Los Fresnos is like what, a tenth of the size of Bronzeville.
Los Fresnos is a rancho.
So
It's
like,
a rancho.
why
It's
is
like
it that Bronzeville? Why is it that Bronzeville being like almost a quarter million of people not be able to get something that worthy,
because
or something
Los-
functional?
I think Los Fresnos fits in Cameron Park.
Probably almost.
I don't know about that, but
Hello to all the beautiful people.
Hey,
Most
oh, sorry.
Go.
I was gonna tell Sam that the people do believe that Brownsville is the stupidest. At least your commissioners have shown that they believe that the people are the stupidest. Somebody came on here yesterday and wants us to believe that his pick for the charter review committee was a random pick that just so happens to be the son-in-law of his PUB board pick and somebody that works with Tony Martinez. Super random pick. That's what they want you to believe. So Yes, they do believe you're
That
stupid.
he might have met him in passing.
He might have met him passing, yes.
Randomly
Su-
selected.
but Susan, I'll ask you, Susan, what the hell are these people thinking? Are they thinking that we're not watching anymore? Are they thinking that we're not paying attention? That we're not going to go out there and review and check? And look, one of the things I think the Commissioner Santos mentioned yesterday, he goes like, well, I vetted these people. But you mean you vetted the individuals and you didn't know that this was Tony Martinez's, the same guy that probably is going to get indicted, because supposedly there's a grand jury out there already.
You know what? It sounds familiar, like somebody else that we had when like the last show I was in last week, I think. And they were like,
Like,
"Oh, I must have missed that when vetting the person,"
Mhm.
yeah,
or was
but
it just overseen?
well, that's what it was made to appear last night. So you're like, oh well, we vetted them. If we vetted them, how the hell
Roy,
did they not find out?
Roy, Roy has always claimed to be the one commissioner that really takes it to heart about who he appoints and his vetting system and his interview system. Literally interviews people personally and takes it all into consideration, and yet doesn't say much if he appointed, after all the interviews he did and all the people that applied and all the people that reached out to him that wanted to be part of that charter committee, he appoints, knowing how upset the public is with this situation. How many months have we been speaking out about it? How many years have you been speaking out about it? The two people implicated in this audit report the most, Tony Martinez and John Brusiak. And what does he do? He appoints to the charter review Tony Martinez's attorney business partner. How in the world could he possibly think that that's okay with the people? It's not. He doesn't care.
It's like a slap in the face.
But it's so simple. This is what really irritates me, and this is why I was just so frustrated this morning. It's just so simple. You've got an individual that is questionable at the least, who an audit that you voted for and you pushed for clearly tells you that you paid over $160,000 for. That clearly tells you that the guy lied, cheated, manipulated, did conniving things. This is what their report says, the one that they voted for. And then, in order to rein in PUB, because that's what the Charter Review Committee, the changes that we like, is for there to be a little bit more control of PUB by the citizens of Brownsville. And then you go and put the business partner, the law partner of the same individual that you've already been told, which we already knew years ago, but you just found out on an audit that you asked for, is the number one culprit.
Mhm.
And
And let's not excuse the fact that every commission voted yes. No one opposed it. So they're not doing their job either.
Yeah, but I think one of the things that is going to be like, well, we all, God, I just can't fathom it. Really, I'm at a loss for words. I cannot fathom the concept. Pero, Kayla, I've said this before. There's such a disconnect between these people that are elected into office and the people down here who are actually suffering. And let me tell you, and I've said this often, I'm overwhelmed, and I've shared this privately with a lot of folks. I'm overwhelmed because I'm being pulled all over the place. Because I get not only the lost dog posts, I also get the Erasmo, what are we going to do? We can't afford this. Where do we go? Is there, we're not going to have anything. We're in trouble. And I'm pulled. But Kayla, there's like this big old disconnect. There's the politicos here and normal people here. Y como que no pescan la onda. I mean, am I completely off base?
Nope, you're 100% correct. even though even Commissioner De Los Santos last night tried to act like that was not true. That, saying that he's from Southmost too, but that doesn't mean anything.
But I don't know. And I don't want to say I'm disappointed because I don't want it to sound like, well, I expected better from them, but I didn't expect them to completely think we were just stupid, you know. And it just makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And that's what's irritating. In Spanish, we say very vulgarly, no me veas la cara de, you know, no me quieras ver la cara de pen. And I think that that's what we got with this charter review committee. Nos quieren ver la cara de idiotas.
Very hypocritical when he shot down Carlos Cascos, and I don't remember who the other one was because of whatever connections they may have had. And then I just don't understand. And then he defended Sandra Sines, or he still defends. And why should we remove her just because she worked for Tony? I mean, it's like conflict of interest, and the word conflict is oblivious. I mean, he doesn't want to see it, doesn't want to. He turns a blind eye to it. I mean,
Yes, but again, he believes that we're stupid because he's setting a standard of criminality to be removed when he doesn't even know if that's an actual standard, if that's what you need to apply. He's just saying it. She hasn't committed any crime, so why would I remove her? Like, that's the standard. So he believes that you're stupid and you're gonna be, oh, it has to be criminality involved. He'll come on this show and say it to your face because he thinks you're stupid.
Because one of the things that Susan just mentioned, it's like he's made the association. He's saying that maybe he just thinks that because they're associated, they're separate. Because this is the same relationship that Tony Martinez has with Tomas Tijerina, that Tony Martinez had with Sandra Sines, and it seems to think, well, it's okay, and it's not okay. I mean, look, one of the things that we've been very, very vocal about is these people need to go. Look, and I'm surprised that no one has, as of right now. I want every single board member on that PUB to resign, every single one. I don't care who they are, and they're missed opportunities for them, because if at least, and this is what we stated, if they would have taken one out, it would have said that they're actually, getting, down in the dirt, nitty gritty, and taking action. Just remove one. Anyone that has ties, links, associations with Tony Martinez or with Gruziak. And unfortunately for us, I think every single one of them on there does.
I want to see the count.
Huh?
I want to see the count. I know that count wasn't 7-0. I want to know the count when it came down to Bruziak, when it came down to his stipulations on when he could or if he could return, his suspension with or without pay, or his termination. I would love to see that, because I bet you it was split. And I think we should know that, because then we'll know who's on our side, if there is anybody. I can't imagine it was 7-0.
Well, again, we're never going to, I guess, find out. Maybe I'll take that back. They've had to vote for it outside of executive session, because they cannot vote for it inside executive session. So maybe we need to go back and get
The video.
to that meeting to find out exactly as to who voted for what. My greatest concern was there ever any talk about firing him immediately, which there should have been.
Mhm.
But we'll never know, because if they discuss it during executive session, who was fighting to remove him completely or to keep him on there? Because I
There
think
should have not been a question of whether he was going to be fired or not. It should just have been automatic. Are we firing him? Yes, everybody raise your hand, please, because, I mean,
But you see, it clearly shows how they do cover up for him, because if they obviously they knew that he was an at will employee and they knew they had the option to just fire him on the spot, right? But because, again, going back to the point that they think that we are stupid, they threw us this thing of, oh, well, he's going to be on leave with pay, because, and they were saying, right, we don't know if he can come back and sue us. We have to be careful with the way we do it. They really think we're stupid and that we're not going to do our research and find out these things. I mean, it took us a little bit to find out, but we found out. Now we know that he is an at-will employee, and that they should have fired him. So now what's going to be the excuse come next board meeting? You know, I mean, it's these tactics that they have of covering each other up, and it's sickening.
You know what, Kayla? It's been going on for so long that they're so used to it, and they're not used to the people speaking up and speaking out now. You know, Roy made that very clear on one of his podcasts regarding me and my PIRs. Look, I wouldn't do a PIR if everything was public to me. If you already made it public to me, then I wouldn't need to do it. But there's public information request in place for a reason. If I want to know something, I'm going to ask for it. And if you don't like it, then you shouldn't be in office. And because they've been getting away with it for so long, and they don't like when they're called out or when something's checked on, they absolutely do not like it. And this is why they're kicking back now.
Well, one of the things is like you shouldn't be afraid. It's like, and I'll state this. One of the things that Minerva Peña told me when I got on the board is that Erasmo, you have to be very, very careful. You have to speak as if someone that you're talking to is recording you.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I said, why should I be careful? People can record me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Why should I be careful in regards to what I speak? What I'm trying to say is if these folks, everything was on the up and up, everything was legit, everything was okay, why would it matter if individuals ask for open records requests? There it is. Well, we want to know where Brugiac's contract is. Well, here it is. Well, just tell us the truth. Tell us that there isn't a contract and that he's an at-will employee. And you could have gotten rid of him a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But what the report tells me, this is their report. What the report tells me is Brugiac knew whose wheels to grease to get what benefited him. Tony Martinez, Eddie Trevino, and Ambiotech. That's what the report tells me. And again, this is one project. One.
Mm-hmm.
How many projects do they run? A year. Every year. For how long?
Did the district attorney ever state anything that they were going to go after them, or not really? They haven't made any public announcements.
Nothing official.
Mm-mm.
Larger reasoning.
Check the comments.
So what do we do now? What do we do as a community now? Where are we at? What happens? What are the next steps?
I think we need to continue what we're doing right now and speaking up and speaking out, researching, making sure that, we know what's going on, finding out whatever they're hiding from us, pointing the people out that are lying to us, and then continue to look for, and talk to the attorneys that we've been talking to.
Or are they not firing him because they're also getting threats, whoever's in charge of firing him? Like what has happened before with other commissioners, that they were getting threats?
I think
Is that a factor?
I think that there's this big old, and I've said this for years now.
Is that why everybody walks in eggshells?
Well, there's a corrupt political machine here. I mean, anyone who doesn't believe that is naive or just completely new to Brownsville. But there's this corrupt political machine out there. And I think what happens, Sam, is that a lot of individuals are afraid to go after one of their own because of the information that he has on the other. So and we say it in Spanish, se tapan con la misma cobija. And that's part of the problem. We have no one out there who's really going to call call them out, whichever way. And one of the things that I made mention to Commissioner Los Santos, and I made mention here publicly. Look, I consider Trey Mendez a friend. You know, consider Trey Mendez a friend. I was one of the individuals that encouraged Trey Mendez. Back when I ran for mayor, I encouraged Trey Mendez to run for mayor, and I loved Trey until the day that I found out and I learned that he was trying to pocket the money that should go to the people of Brownsville. At that moment, all bets are off. It's not he's my friend. I gotta stay loyal to him because he's my friend. It's you cannot screw the people of Brownsville, because you screw the people of Brownsville, you're screwing me. You know, and look, and as crazy as if anyone goes after Susan for speaking out, for being vocal, they're coming after me. But not only me, they're coming after every citizen out there in Brownsville. And that's the mentality that we need to start instilling in folks. If they hurt one, they hurt us all, because that's exactly what happens. What they do isn't just that stone that falls inside the pond. You got to take in consideration that ripple effect that decimates a whole community. And that's where we're at right now. And these pieces of crap, they think that if they could swindle a good 15, 25, 100, $200,000 here, it's not going to hurt a community that is budgeted at $145 million a year. Well, it hurts because we're going nowhere. Because what started off as taking a little bit is now they're taking much and much more.
Oh yeah.
And I was just thinking that, man, I'm pretty sure they started like with small amounts, and little by little they start getting bigger amounts, to the point that it gets to this.
Well, what happened?
Yeah, it already got ridiculous amounts.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if y'all remember, guys, but remember, Villalobos got busted for $2,000. Abel Limas got busted for $500. I mean, these were small amounts in
But it was
comparison
supposed to be way bigger.
Well, and it's the same thing with like Sylvia Atkinson. Sylvia Atkinson got busted for $10,000. But is that the only amount? And it's like a little progression. Limas was 500, Villalobos 2,000, Sylvia 10,000. The same thing with the big projects. Bridge to Nowhere, 25 million. Performing Arts Center, 53 million. Titan Tires, I don't know how many other million. And then we got the Sports Park, 50 some million.
And are they planning like another industrial park?
Well,
Or is it the same one?
Well, I haven't heard of a new one, but every single time, every other year, they plan to open a new industrial park. And again, where is the economic development from all those? You Sam, you follow those. Where's the economic development from all those industrial parks that we're getting? Where is it? We've got nothing. But again, you have to go back and look at the right of ways, who sold the property, who bought the property before, who has first-hand knowledge in regards to the property, because everyone out there is making a buck. Everyone.
You know what I saw? I thought it was kind of funny with the Tanasca. They were going to have a 10-year tax abatement, right? And the employees, the full-time employees that were going to be there at the plant, once the plant was built, was 25. 25 people were going to be employed there. I thought, wow, 10-year tax abatement for 25 full-time employees? Doesn't seem like an even trade there.
Well,
No.
and then we learned, everything else. The rest of the story is Frankie says, Paul Harvey, Frankie. Then we read the rest of the story in regards to this was never going to happen. We never were going to get a Tanasca.
Maybe they were mentioned, like all those advancements of the city in the town hall meeting that they were going to have. Did they ever have it? The one from Commissioner 3 and 4, Cardenas?
I'm going to say no.
Did they I could have sworn they were planning something huge.
Yeah, I'm going to say no. COVID,
No,
COVID, COVID.
mm, must have been.
Uh, uh, well, my other question is, how much more can our community take? I mean,
It's
there's
crazy.
got to be a.
You're like literally stealing the words out of my mouth.
I said it first. There's there's got to be a breaking point, isn't there?
Yeah, there has to. Eventually,
It happened.
people got to fight back. After so much nonsense. Why they take it? Maybe because the information is not out there enough, or they don't know what exactly what's going on. Because people were once it started hitting their pockets, they started fighting a little bit, but now they got to finish out the fight with this guy taking him out. But that's only tip of the iceberg.
Surface.
There is also a general attitude of el que no tranza no avanza. So
Uh, yeah, and and again, one of the things that I get a lot of who from the city called the authorities after the audit. Why is this not public, or is it? Why did we find out after the audit release? If the audit was this bad that authorities had to be called, then why wasn't Brujac fired and arrested? That is
Question.
our question.
They
Uh,
interviewed a whole lot of people for the whole damn audit.
Brownsville strategic location for business. It has resources that other cities don't have. It has a port, railroad, airport, three bridges to Mexico. Shameful that so many millions of dollars have been stolen instead of investing in the city. And it's people, puros mendigas ratas. Nothing has changed since the 80s when I was growing up there. But I commend you guys for taking a stand against Brownsville plague of corruption.
So true.
But honestly, I've lived here all my life. My family lived here all our life. Just want a bit of Brownsville, you know. And as much as these people seem to feed their people, number these people just
Maybe, just maybe, if we had an arena, it would bring so many people from Corpus and McAllen to Brownsville.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm throwing it out there. I don't know.
Yeah.
como decía mi papá, too many chiefs and not enough Indians. Uh, the disconnect is because they do not care about the people. They only care about the enriching themselves. Me. I'll see you tomorrow morning. You bring me damn cookies. He defended his LGBTQ whatever more than the people of Brownsville with the PUB issues. He should have the same intensity he did with a group to defend the people, but it's obvious he's a sellout. Well, and let me clarify. Someone actually called me out this morning, and it wasn't Susan, but they said, "That's what you said that Susan was homophobic." I said, "I did not say that. What I said was the reasoning." Just to clarify, the reasoning behind uh, Commissioner Santos, not even considering Carlos because of his close relationship to the Sampayos, the Cardenas, and Susan because of their posts about being homophobic and all this stuff. These are the reasonings why he would never pick these people. But then you go see this guy out there, and this guy has the closest relationship to Tony Martinez than probably anybody out there. He's his business law partner. And you're going to place him on the charter review that's supposed to rein in and give certain powers back to the commission. How? I wanted to make that clarification.
Yeah. Well, he's been calling me homophobic since the minute I called him out on filtering money to Brian. So, it's already been that's his name for me. So, because he's the only gay man in the city of Brownsville that apparently I have a problem with. I don't know. Doesn't bother me anymore because it's just his way to defend himself against something and deflect.
Well, I hate when individuals start taking that route. And look, one of the things, and I've had my issues with the LGBTQ community here locally. And very, very, very. I don't know. The only one that has been very, very vocal about the disappearance of Kimberly I do my best to try and promote anything out there, that is diverse. Sam knows this. I mean, I was the one that brought Diversity Week to UTB TSC back in the heyday. It,
Bro.
it was you, bro. It wasn't you.
I brought it up, and then it was look. I mentioned it, and then since there were like five other great people with great ideas, and we're like, you know what, this could be a massive event. But yes, you were in that room. But I remember mentioning it because I remember talking about it because I remember I know that Disney, or I guess first week of June. I don't know when it's at, but I know first week of June is Diversity Week and or something like that. And I was like, it would be cool to have that here. And then we're like started throwing ideas. But
And
yes, you were in that room. You can take kind of the credit,
all
but
these
it was a
years,
great week. It
all
was a
these years,
teamwork. It was a great team, to be honest.
Sam was taking credit for that, but it was actually me, all me.
I'm not taking credit. It's just that it was. I'm saying it was a great team who did all of that.
Okay, I'll take it.
He stole your idea, Sam. Stole it right from under you.
I'm speechless.
I'm doing a Commissioner Los Santos on you. The love of money is the root of all evil. Seems that people ensnared in this step of corruption will need an exorcism. That's misspelled. They act in of justice, truth, and well, the question is, are they invisible to justice? Consider
It's a
all of
matter
them.
of time.
Let's finish with the comments. See if we can get there. Even if it takes a year, which is what they are pushing for, their intentional delay of action is in hopes of people exhausted and tired out of getting compensated. Um, I'm not giving up, and I think we've had this conversation privately with everyone here.
Mhm.
We're not going anywhere.
Mm-mm.
We're going to be barking as loud as we can, and just so that the commission knows this, and the county commission knows this, guys. The people that are joining every day este, are not just the regular folks that have come out constantly to complain. You're getting more and more individuals that are fed up, that are tired, that are realizing that things could be better here in this community. Things could be so much better. Unfortunately for us, they're not.
And just wait till we have our attorney hired.
Mhm. You know, Erasmo, and you keep saying the same thing that that you don't want to be right, right? You talk about all this stuff and you don't want to be right. There wants to be a time you want to have a time when you're not right. And that's how I feel about the commission and the PUB board and everything. Do you really think that we like spending our day talking about this kind of stuff? It's exhausting.
Soft.
Exhausting. And it's not what I wake up every day and like, ooh, who am I gonna attack today? Who am I gonna, call out on Facebook and all of that stuff? It's not about that. But look, if nobody stands up for the people, then we're all screwed. We're all screwed, and we've been screwed for all these years. And it's got to stop. It has to stop. But I'd love to wake up one day and say, oh my God, we have the best commission, or you know what, at least they're working in our favor. They're on our team. They're looking out for us, or the PUB board or whatever major boards we have, BISD, You're always going to have those ones, that you disagree with, but it doesn't mean they're bad or they have bad intentions. Right now, I feel like nobody on any of the boards is doing anything good right now.
You know, Susan is a million times right, and I've had this conversations. I've actually had this conversation on the show. You'd have to be playing crazy, crazy to have to be submitting open records requests, to have to go do research on LLCs, on properties and stuff, and to come out at 9 o'clock in the morning every day during the week, 9 o'clock at night, to bitch about everything that's going so wrong here. You have to be crazy because as unfathomable as it may be, it's draining, Susan.
Yeah.
It's draining, and it's not only draining in regards to resources because we put up our own resources, guys. It's draining mentally, physically, every which way. And there's other stuff that I want to do, and and it's kind of trippy because I even start to feel guilty about going out of town anymore. You know, I'm because
You
I'm thinking
should.
that
You should. Yes, I agree, Sam.
You
He
should.
should. Right? Oh, Carlo, Kayla,
I hate.
It's too
the only
many,
guy
too
You
that
many,
keeps
should,
going.
too
yeah.
many trips.
Yeah, you're showing off.
Puro
Unless you start
agarrando
taking
sol
us,
en Six
then
Flags, peladito corriente.
You make us all be jealous because you take these pictures in these great
Yeah,
places, and
we're over here, like talking to each other at
Una
night about.
limonada toda blanca que no sé qué fregados tiene.
I can't even remember the name of the damn drink. But no, I do. I'm starting to feel like, I cannot. And again, it's like I can't leave the post. Can't leave the post. Got to still be on here. Got to still be posting. Got to still have the shows. And I appreciate when I'm not there that y'all take over the shows, but I feel like I can't because it seems like every day there's something new. There's a new tranza. There's a new way for these people to make money. There's a new way that we're getting screwed as a community, and that's just infuriating.
And like you said, man, that was only one project of PUB. How many more projects has PUB had that were also like side deals of it, you know? And I'm pretty sure if you add all that, it's gonna be more than Tinasca money. So
And again, this
What's
is
going to happen to those 247 acres?
that's a great question. I wonder if those 247 acres all of a sudden became La Madeira or something, or they used to be going to be the arena or something. I don't
No,
know.
but it was on. I thought it was on Old Alice.
I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
where's
it
that?
was
Well, that isn't what in 511
Let me see.
because I know that they were trying to. I know they have it in plan with regional Cameron County Regional that they were gonna expand Old Alice. The one after once it gets touches 511, it was actually gonna get expanded.
Mm, let's see.
So they were probably prepping the Old Alice to build around there.
And then we have the right of ways that they also all the easements that they took as well.
we
We all,
the United have more power. Fear retaliation stifles revolutionary action for justice. Good
And I'm sure
evening.
it wasn't. I'm so sorry.
No,
Wasn't it posted that you were gonna have someone like on the from the PUB, I guess, give their statement on the show, or was I being delusional on that?
delusional. Oh no, let me retract. You are delusional, but that's a different point. Actually, I had a conversation with individuals that were, very close to Sandra Sines, and the Sandra Sines was upset that her name was being dragged in the mud. And I'm going like, well, you shouldn't have been so close to Tony Martinez all these years. The guy's a rat, always has been a rat, and you shouldn't be out there protecting Brusiak. You shouldn't be out there questioning the audit that was made. You're not there to defend Brusiak, lady. You're not there to defend Tony Martinez. You are there to oversee what is in the best interest of the people of Brownsville. So again, and she was upset that some people have mentioned that individuals should stop going to that Spanky's Burgers and start boycotting a lot of their businesses, like 1848 on Palm Boulevard and Dodici's Pizza, and people just stop going to them. But again, and she sent word that she was going to have a sit down and talk, and I said, great, she could be on the show. I'm going to ask questions. So that was where we were at. But then all of a sudden, as soon as everything else started to come out in regards to Brugiak going back into the building, which makes no sense. And then she decided to say, well, you know what? I'm not going to talk to him. Well, then screw you then.
yeah. And let me clear up something because I've gotten some heat about Sandra also. I don't know Sandra personally. She could be a great lady. It has nothing to do with her family, or her history as far as what her working. She can work for whoever she wants. And I'm not implicating her in any way. I'm not saying that she's done anything wrong. What I'm saying is she has a clear conflict. And she can't be expected to make a good decision for the people of Brownsville with the relationship that she has with Tony. If I was her in her position, I would recuse myself because of that, because I wouldn't want to be in that position. She has a perfect out. I cannot be involved in this because I have a conflict. I would run as fast as I could away from that. Why she's fighting for that position and why she's fighting to stay on that board and be in the decision, that seems fishy. Because if I was her, I would say goodbye, gotta go. I have a conflict. But nothing to do with her personally or her business. I love Spankies. Nothing to do with any of that. It's just her position on the board. And being the chairwoman, she has a lot of pull. She needs to recuse herself.
Yeah,
I know you see it a little bit different, but that's how I see it.
I still want her gone.
Oh, I definitely want her gone off of the board too. But
But I want her gone. And I want anyone and everyone that had any close association with Tony Martinez, John Brugia, I want them all freaking gone.
yeah.
Gone. And look, guys, it's not, look, I know who Sandra Sines is. I've gone to the burgers, I've said hi, and every time I run into her, I say hi. I don't have, I'm like Susan, I don't have anything against her personally. She hasn't spit on me or anything. Some people have, she hasn't. She hasn't done anything personally to me or to my family. But guys, she has a close association with Tony Martinez, and I don't want anyone with a close association to Tony Martinez, to John Brugiak, to Joe, whatever Brugiak. I don't want them anywhere near a decision-making entity
Mhm.
that's going to determine where the monies of the people of the city of Brownsville are going to go to. It's got to stop. And look, it's the same thing with Michael Limas. Michael Limas might be on the up and up. He just might be a businessman. But again, the guys benefited from every single committee out there, from BCIC, GBEC, I would say, everyone out there. And then he has this firm that gets accepted to serve the retirement of the people of the city, employees of the city of Brownsville. And now we learn that they're screwing with the retirement of the people from PUB. I don't want him anywhere close to the decision making process. So this is one of the reasons why, just out of association, I say screw United Way of Brownsville. They got him as their chair. As their chair. The same guy that has taken the resources of the people of Brownsville. Screw United Way. Screw them. And anyone that is out there, stop giving money to United Way of Cameron County, which is found here in Brownsville. Stop. Because they've got a chair who's taken money from our kids, from the poorest of the poor. So guilt by association. Get away from those people. And let me tell you, my fall with Trey Mendez, the separation, came because he surrounded himself with the same crap. Ramiro Gonzalez, Rose Gowen, the Limas, all these crappy people that have been screwing Brownsville over for years. And I've been screaming about it for years. Even Tony Martinez was out there. Oh, yeah, Trey's a guy. Well, yeah, he's part of that same little damn clique. So guilt by association, get out. What's her name? Sandra Sines? Get out. Do the honorable thing, Why can't anyone do the honorable thing anymore? Resign. Move on. But no, they have to be there protecting their people. They have to be there protecting their own hide, their own interest. They have to be out there to make sure that they vote to cover up their crap. That's where I'm at.
Mhm. Tell us how you really feel.
It's like how this guy was saying about the Spanish saying, el que no tranza no avanza, pero también tal de con dinero baila el perro. No?
With the money dancing the dog.
But no, like it's you surround people like that, you're bound to be associated with them. You're bound to be like get their habits and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
And, look, what Shooter says is right. What does it matter if the guy was placed on leave if he still has access to PUB?
Mhm.
Because I'll guarantee you guys, I guarantee you that he is still running the show from South Padre Island from his condo. You know, still moving and shaking. There's been no change. If the guy can go in and out anytime he wants, nothing has changed. You just sent him to work from home. He controls everything in there. But besides that, you're giving him an opportunity to go back into the property that you actually suspended him from. And this bull, and and Carlos, you pointed it out. It's bull crap. This thing about, oh, he has to come in, to defend himself, to be able to defend himself.
Build a case.
Based on what? You know, I mean, has he done the honorable thing? Has he been? I mean, does he deserve that from the people of Brownsville? Because again, folks, it's not PUB. It's you, the people of Brownsville, because PUB is yours. And he argued this with you last night in regards to, well, he's got to defend himself. That's just crap.
Yeah, Carlo, you're a criminal attorney. You know that.
I just don't know what he needs to defend himself against. I mean, nobody said that anything is going to happen to him at the end of 60 days. So what is he building a case against? It doesn't make sense.
Did they
Well,
did they let the fajita bandit back into the jail?
no,
Oh,
not again. But and I think Frankie's made mention of this on his show, and but he heard it from me first. Um, any one of us guys right now, we'd be looking for bail money.
oh yeah.
And people of Brownsville, any one of you that had gotten 10% of the accusations that have been made against you, 10%. Because we're not talking about $1.2 million in fajitas. We're not talking about $10 million. We're talking about $135 million. What's even worse is that $1.2 million that was taken from the fajita bandit, part of it came from outside funds. It came from grants. It came from subsidies.
Mhm.
Take into consideration the $10 million that are missing downtown, guys. That came from Elon Musk. The 135 million that they took came from your grandmother,
Mhm.
came from your father, came from your children. You, the people of Brownsville, this is your money. It's not federal money, not federal assistance. It's not subsidies given from the state. It's not anything that was given by a private citizen like Elon Musk. They took your money, 135 million. And isn't it so convenient, Susan, that after the fact, after they got busted with a hand in the cookie jar, all of a sudden they go like, "Well, we've been giving it to you all this time."
Mhm.
I don't believe it. I do not believe them, and I have a right not to believe them. They've lied to us for the past 10 years. How can you trust that what they're saying is true, Susan?
I don't. I mentioned this in the last show that I went back and looked at the PUB meetings, and I didn't find anywhere on the agenda any agenda item for permission to use the Tanasca money for subsidies. So whoever made that decision on their own, as concerned right now, and they had no right to.
I I mean, y'all were on, Carlos and Kayla. It made no sense, you know. And there's no clear answer. You're supposed to have these answers. All of a sudden, after the fact, oh well, let me explain to you what we did with the 54 million of those dollars. We actually gave them back to you already. It's not enough, you know. And I don't want $40 million back. I don't want 29 million. I don't want 11 million, which makes 40, I think. 40. I don't want $40 million back. I don't. I want $135 million back. And everyone in the city of Brownsville should demand the same. Does that make sense, Sam?
Yeah, because today I was actually talking to somebody about that, and then was it like what they had planned? Was it like 600 based on those 29 million, or what? Or what have they talked about? Because if they go based on that, like if it's gonna be like 130 million,
Oh,
They
no, no,
want to
no.
it has to
put
be like
Go, Kata.
they want to out of those 40 million, they want to put money aside for low income families.
25%. They say, right? 25%, Susan, am I right?
I think that's a figure they throw out. Yeah.
Oh, we're going to
Yeah.
put 25% out there so that we could distribute to the most needy, the most vulnerable. Well, F you.
Mm-mm.
I don't
or
trust
they
you.
just say what to do with the money.
Well, Sam,
It was the people's money.
how can you trust them? But no, how can you trust that they're going to actually do the right thing? They haven't been doing the right thing for the past 10 years. You know? And now you want to tell me, oh, don't worry, guys. We're going to distribute 25% of the money that should go to you into who we think is the most needy and brown. Well, F you. You know? I don't want you to keep 25%. I don't want you to keep anything. I want you to give the damn
Patricio
money.
even had the audacity of saying that he would love to give 100% of the money to low income families.
AKA an investment fund, so we can play with your money a little bit more.
Again?
I
It
mean,
can't.
that's the way I see it. You're saying, I'm going to keep your money. You're not just going to let that sit there. You're not. You're going to put it somewhere where you're going to gamble on it.
Do y'all want help, or are you going to be a bitching famous word or popular commissioner? Et, you keep on traveling. Yeah, I'm going to do that actually. You know my story. They're trying to gaslight us. We didn't land the trucking company. City rather pick out those who are harder time defending themselves. 100%. That's what vamos a almorzar mañana.
Vamos.
So I got a wedding at 10:30, but after that, I'm free. Free as bird. No te calientes, plancha! Trying.
Too late.
Well,
Yeah.
sorry.
I like it when you slam your desk.
F everyone and vote for Erasmo. Yeah! It's tough cheese. Love you, Baba. Lima's got the food contract at the airport. No. Yeah.
What?
The restaurant
What is that about?
at the airport. Well, they were out there
It's a
trying
small little damn bar, if you ask me.
well, they were trying to do some food, something like a little restaurant or some cafe at the airport. Lima's got that too. Felony theft. They get everything, guys. Let me see if we go through the comments before we finish tonight because it's already been an hour. And I actually have to go pick up some cheese. I cannot drink my pasitas without good cheese. And I actually bought this really bad cheese that is too crumbly. So what happens is I put the cheese inside the pasitas and it just crumbles away.
No.
You know?
Doesn't sound
Yeah, I
good.
haven't tried my pasitas. Pasitas are amazing.
Sound good.
No.
What kind
You
of
almost-
pasitas are these?
You almost chew it.
I'm gonna send you a bottle. Amazing. Not even
Ah,
joking.
gracias. Te lo
Is
acepto
this
con
like
todo
supposed to
corazón.
be some sort of probiotic type thing?
Pasitas? It's alcohol
No, I mean like because you drink it at night every night, right?
every night. Except when I'm traveling.
It's
I do
an
not drink.
antioxidant. I like
Yeah,
to call it.
it clears my system.
See? Like probiotics.
It really
That's
knocks
the point.
you know, and again, I don't care. I have them at home.
The cheese just complements it.
You got to, it's got to trip out because I actually had the drink in Puebla, and I mean, it knocked my socks off. It was just so amazing. But they put a little cube of cheese in there, and you bite on the cheese and you take a sip. Bite on the cheese and take a sip. It's just
Quantity
amazing.
had to do factor, had to be a factor.
Combined with the
Wait, you put the cheese in the drink
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
instead of a cube.
you put it and look it up on Google. Pasitas like pasitas Puebla, and you'll see a shot glass with a little block of cheese inside, and it's on a toothpick, and you pick it up and you bite it, and you take a sip. It's amazing. I don't care.
Hey,
And my
speaking of pasitas, don't forget to like the page.
God, yes, please. I think there's 150 people on, and I only got 17 likes on that damn.
Send them stars.
Yeah,
I can
definitely. And to all the politicians that are watching, you can go back and watch this video and take notes.
Susan, I mean, you heard that thing about the back and forth about Buziak, right? Isn't that the lamest excuse for him coming back onto the PUB property? I mean,
Super cheap.
y'all have businesses out there, except me and Sam. Me and Sam are the co-owners. I mean, if you suspend someone from your business, do you want them coming back onto your property?
Of course not.
Give me your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what would happen if PUB majority just didn't have electricity for 2 months. We died. Keep on screaming. January 6th. Done with that. Magic Valley sends checks to the customers. You need checks. I need 135 million back. Okay. We not need a break from a few days in between to not burn out. Okay. Yeah, I can't do that. They need to donate some of their obscenely high salaries to help the media grab bastards. When is the next meeting? I'm signing up to speak. I think
The 14th, the 8th, and the 4th.
The
I think the commission's on the 8th and the PUB's on the 14th. I think.
I will be here for both. On the 15th, I'm going to Mazatlán.
Mira nomás. Qué chulo.
Somebody steal that guy's passport.
Actually, I have 3 passports.
Oh shoot.
Good evening. Good evening. I say we all get money compensation checks. I don't want credits on the bill because they have to get the actors even using accurate readings. I mean, I already got our address anyway. Yeah. Neighbors, don't forget to share. Yummy. Oh yeah. Saca la cheese. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Pasitas is amazing. Daylight saving time comes November 6th. It's gonna be crazy. Astros are winning. Thank God, finally. Anything other, Susan?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the right way to do it. Carlos, Kayla, anything else?
Un saludo para los de PUB.
Sam, anything other?
Te pasas, Nico. No,
guys.
I guess people still have time to go vote and take people.
I will get someone else in the comments. Trust me. There's some
He
nights
needs a
that you just
secretary for his
cannot-
shows.
I need a secretary at night. Cannot get through the comments. Hopefully soon.
He said that because you happen to skip a couple of people in particular.
You know what I do want to say? People that are watching, there's like 44 of y'all. Share what you hear on this, because more citizens need to be aware. More citizens need to get involved. Time after time, we hear how, I've heard something, but I'm not really sure what's going on. And then they want to know, and they want you to tell them everything in that little time that you're with them. But no, like, invest the time, at least be on the shows to get to know what's really happening, and join us. We
Imagine
welcome
trying
you.
to tell somebody all the all the shenanigans that happens in Bronzeville. Is those bolsas de pan de dulce easily
Or show
trying
up.
to have that over with coffee.
They can show up to the meetings and they don't have to speak. Just show up to the meetings and hear what's going on and be there for support.
Yeah.
The more people
I
that
would
show
love
up,
to see that.
they
Yeah, the more people show up is good,
Mhm.
guys. And yeah,
I do have one last thing before we go. everybody congratulate me. 10 years as a licensed attorney. So send me your congratulations, send me your stars and all that stuff.
Your cash app, todo el rollo.
Mr. De Los Santos can go on my page and look at my bar card because I think he was questioning whether I was an attorney or not yesterday.
Well, you definitely
So
weren't
it's
good
there.
enough.
There's proof.
What? We didn't hear you, Susan.
I said you're definitely not good enough for the charter review.
Oh no,
Neither was I.
I'm not random enough.
My God. Congratulations, Carlos. Please, everyone go out and vote and have family. Yes, I think I got one more. Grass. I don't want to get missed. Congrats, guys. Please go out and vote and encourage other people to go out and vote.
Yes.
This simple way.
Friday's the last day, right? Friday.
Friday's the last day for early voting. Last opportunity to vote is on Tuesday, election day. Guys, all incumbents out. All.
Slam the hand. Slam the hand.
All
Out.
incumbents out. All of them out. All of them out. Just vote all of them out. And again, BISD, Cameron County, all of them out. It's that simple, guys. We don't want Gus Reese back. We don't want Eddie Trevino back. We don't want Joey Lopez back. Guys, you got choices as bring back Carlos Elizondo, Frank Ortiz, and Victor Caballero, guys. It's just that simple. That's it. And on the rest, dale gas. Enjoy. Have a great time. But think of local. Because we're getting so majorly screwed here locally. It's got to stop.
And Jaime Diaz.
And Jaime Diaz. I like Jaime.
Clean
Diaz.
Yeah, he's cute. He brought me he came in shorts the other day, too. That always wins me. Guys, have a great evening. Social distance, face covering, hand sanitizer, silver and all that crap. I'm done, guys. See you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. Guys, be good to each other. Continue to be good to me. God bless.
Bye.